Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. So today is going to be a very different video. As you may know or you may not know, last week I was hospitalized for emergency surgery. So I'm going to tell you the whole story, how I ended up there, how this completely came out of nowhere for me, and the main moral of the story is to listen to your body. If something feels off, make sure you go to a doctor. Don't be stubborn. So I guess where I will start is 2 weeks ago, maybe I was out to dinner and I was in pain. Like my lower abdominal region hurt, and I remember just being keeled over, not really being able to enjoy my meal, telling my boyfriend something's off, I don't feel well. But I just ate my food, went home, went to bed, and the next day I felt better, and I was okay. Whatever, just a stomach ache, no big deal. And then this past Thursday, well, the week before my surgery, so about 10 days ago, it was a Thursday, and I had some weird kind of, what's it called? Oh, a swollen lymph node in my groin. And I've never had a swollen lymph node in my groin ever, so I was like, this is so weird. It was like a ball, like a mass in the side of my bikini line. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I called the doctor, and they said, oh, we can make you an appointment for the following Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. And I was like, perfect, I'll see you guys there. Wasn't thinking it was an emergency, wasn't thinking anything. It was just, a little bit off. So the rest of the weekend, totally fine, totally normal. I figured probably just about to get my period, and things get swollen, whatever. Not thinking any big deal of it. And then by the time Tuesday rolls around, where it's supposed to be my appointment to go to my gynecologist for this swollen lymph node, I wake up in the morning and I'm in so much pain, bent over, holding my abdomen. I keep saying abdominal region, abdomen. And I'm not quite sure if I was on the floor crying at this point, but my boyfriend definitely made a remark. He was like, you're making exorcism squeaks, because I'm like, because when you're in so much pain, you don't really pain management is a very interesting thing. So he leaves for work. I take a bath thinking maybe the hot water is gonna help, but then I get out. Oh, the light just flicked out. So I get out of the bathtub. I'm rolling around my apartment, keeled over, fetal position on the floor. This is the worst stomach ache of my life. This is not menstrual cramps. What the hell is this? Felt like my intestines were twisting and burning and all those kinds of things. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's acid reflux. So I take a Zantac, drink some water, still keeled over, rolling around, and then I run to the bathroom and I start vomiting. And it wasn't really a nausea vomiting thing when you get a viral illness or anything like that. I, without a doubt, 100% was vomiting because of the pain that I was in. That was just how my body responded, was just go vomit. So even the Zantac I took, it was gone. So I Googled extreme lower abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, no appetite, because it's around noon now, 4 hours of this pain, haven't been able to stomach a thing. And literally word for word what comes up in Google: appendicitis, get to the ER. So I see that, I'm already in pain, I'm crying. I FaceTime my boyfriend, tears are coming down, and he can tell oh, this is not good. And if you know me, I'm kind of stubborn. I just want to take care of other people, never really want the attention on me. Just I'd rather just be oh, I'm fine, it's just a stomach ache, it's fine, and not really make a big deal out of it. Then I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the ER, they're gonna be girl, you got a stomach ache, tough it out. So all these things are running through my head, but I just know that something's not right. So he is in court. My mom can't drive because she just had a seizure, which is a whole nother story. So he ends up getting out of court, coming home. We take my car, we go straight to the ER. My mom was able to meet us there, wheelchair me in, get me in right away, hook me up to the IV, take the blood. It was a nurse practitioner who saw me initially in the ER, and she feels around. She's like, all right, so ovaries bursted or appendicitis? And this all happened so quickly, guys. Like, I was fine Monday. Tuesday, I'm in the ER. So the first thing that they did was, hold on. They took me back for a CT scan. So with CT scans, you have to like either drink this contrast, but they put it through an IV for me. And I guess it like sees like all the blood vessels in your body. I'm not quite sure. So I go through the CT scan, the results come back, and they say it is inconclusive. So, okay, so we got no answers. Meanwhile, my blood came back, that my white blood cells were still normal, but they were like on the high end of things. I think they were like 11 or 12. So it wasn't like outrageous. Everything else was totally normal. So the next thing that they did was they took me for an ultrasound. So the first thing they do is like, rub the belly, rub the abdomen, and they're like looking for my ovaries to make sure it's not like a bursted ovary or a twisted ovary or something like that. And they're like, oh, your ovaries look good. And then like feeling let me go get my supervisor. Oh God. And I'm being mean. I'm like talking to the girl. She's probably my age, rubbing over my belly. And I'm like, oh, like how long did it take for you to learn how to read these and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, my pain is managed at this point. She gets her supervisor and they're like, yeah, like we don't know what this like fluid-filled mass is. Like we don't really know. But it kind of looks like your appendix is like swollen or whatever. So then they have to do a transvaginal ultrasound, which is like when they insert the thing inside of you. As they're doing that, like there's some knocks on the door. And it's like 5 surgeons. I'm like, oh great, here we go. Only been here a few hours. And the surgeon comes in, he like touches me. So the surgeons come in, and there's like a resident, med student, like the whole team. I'm so used to that. They're touching me, they're feeling me, but I am so okay at this point because they gave me the pain medicine, which is like a whole other story. So I'm just like happy with me. I'm like, oh yeah, like it kind of hurts. Oh, can you do this? Yeah, I can do that. If I press here, does it hurt? Like kind of, but like I'm medicated, so no. And I'm starving, guys. Like I had not eaten all day, and now I'm NPO in case they do have to do an emergency surgery. So I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. Can't I eat? Like, no, in case you have to get surgery. So like, no one's making this decision if I'm gonna need surgery or not. And the doctor and the surgeon's like, oh, well, like this is a good sign. You're hungry. Usually, if you have appendicitis, you're not gonna be hungry. So they wheel me back. Like, ultrasound suggestive of appendicitis, but your symptoms, like, you feel good, and, like, so you look good, like, you don't look septic. I'm like, oh, like, that's great that I don't look septic. So they bring me back to the emergency room, and the surgeon comes back to the bedside, and he's like, look, like, this is your decision if you want to have the appendectomy, or if we can manage it through, IV antibiotics, which had already hooked me up to IV antibiotics at this time. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just so surreal to me. So I guess I could tell, like, maybe I was in medicine, maybe I wasn't, like, had some experience. I was asking questions. So he's like, let me airdrop you some PubMed articles. I'm like, great, let me read them. So I'm all alone, like, in my ER bed still. And apparently, like, I heard that they were, like, gonna admit me. So I'm like, wow, like, little me, I get to decide now if I'm going for surgery. And like, I really don't know too much about appendicitis, so I'm reading these PubMed articles. Meanwhile, then the surgeon goes, well, I do my appendectomies laparoscopically. The next surgeon who's coming in, he's like, does like an open, so you'll have a bigger scar. But if you want me to do your surgery, like, call me, I'll come back. I'm like, no, like, I don't want you to like come back for me. Like, go home, enjoy your time with your family. So then the next surgeon who comes, it's like shift change. He's like, yeah, like, let's just watch your white blood cells. We'll check them again at midnight. So at midnight, I go to the floor, and at midnight, they come, they get blood, and white blood cells go up. But, like, not significantly. Like, 1 point. Like, then they decided to do blood again, 4 a.m. And they were just, like, hanging. Meanwhile, my hemoglobin's dropping, my potassium's dropping, my albumin's dropping because, I've been NPO 24 hours now. I'm starving. They keep doing blood, blah, blah. And the surgeon comes in, and he was just, like, more authoritative. And he's just like, look, like, let's do the surgery, So, 4 a.m., I'll insert pictures as we go. I just started bawling because yesterday I'm fine. I had surgery like 10 years ago, so I know the recovery process is a pain in the butt. I know my abdomen's going to be scarred. I know this means I'm out a week. I just started my business. Like, I'm so excited. Like, and now I'm getting an organ or, like, a piece of my intestine chopped off. So I start bawling. I'm all alone. I call my family. I call my boyfriend. But, yeah, so I think I got a little bit more sleep. Like, we all made a surgery, and then it's, like, a surgeon who I didn't even know. I was like, can I talk to the surgeon? So I tell the surgeon. So, I meet the surgeon for, like, 5 minutes. I'm like, hi, surgeon. Like, this is what happened. I had some swelling, like, a swollen lymph node. That went away. Then the abdominal pain came back. Who the hell knows? This is inconclusive. My labs are, like, not terrible. They don't know for the ultra. I don't know. Whatever. So I go, doctor, like, if you go in there and you see my appendix is fine, are we keeping it? Does it go? And he's like, no, like, it's gone. Like, it's going. Because if it bursts, then you get this bacteria-filled fluid all over your abdomen. You can get more infection, sepsis, peritonitis, inflammation, like, all this nonsense. So, like, we're taking it out. So, man, I just start bawling. I'm so emotional at this time. But what I must say is that these doctors, nurses, oh my God, pray to God, like, if anyone's in the hospital, that they get the amazing care that I got. I can't say it enough. And I was on Toradol the whole time, which I loved. They tried giving me Percocets, didn't do anything, but Toradol, I was like, oh, dear God, this is amazing. So my pain was managed. I wake up from surgery. Well, backtrack. So I go to pre-op. I'm like, yeah, here's the little happy juice. I woke up. It was done. I looked down. Just 3 Band-Aids. It's not that bad. It's kind of disgusting right now. I'm, like, embarrassed to show. But I will. So, yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty because you can't take the steri strips off. You just have to, like, let them fall off. They haven't fell off yet. Like, I'm only 4 days post-op. So, yeah, I mean, they took out my appendix. It's hard to walk the first few days, and then I get stronger, but I was, like, so happy to be up and moving this weekend. And then, so I got some, like, weird swelling in my lower abdomen, like, unilaterally. Like, one side is super swollen. I look disfigured. Today I had some more weird stuff happen, so I'm going to go back to the doctors. But yeah, the more I've been reading about this appendix stuff, like, it can happen to anyone. And I tried to be as healthy as possible, and then things happen, good thing we don't need the appendix. Anyways, that's my story. I've been off the pain meds. I had to take, like, a bunch of Senna, Colace, suppository, like, all this stuff to help me go because you can't, like, your abdomen is just, like, as if you did 700 million sit-ups. It's so hard to move. But yeah, I'm super bloated. I'm super swollen still, and back to the doctors today, Thursday, for post-op. But yeah, so anyone that was wondering, that is my story. Hopefully within the next week or so we can go back to nutrition stuff, what I love. But damn, this just knocked me out. But what I really wanted to say was, so guys, yeah, I'm trying my best to look at the camera. If you feel something is off in your body, please go to the doctor, the ER, like, whatever you need to do. just don't even worry. If I was worried that they were going to be like, oh, like, it's just a stomachache, but you never know. So please listen to your body. If you have any questions, if a similar thing happened to you, let me know. Like I said, I was like completely healthy, and now, boom, an emergency surgery. So that's all. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to sharing much more nutrition stuff in the future. Bye.